welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody back to the Unholy podcast here. I'm world-renowned author Doug Owen. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk a little bit today about some of the supernatural occurrences that have happened to me, and it's kind of why I'm here writing my books about these experiences that have haunted me for decades. And I consider myself fairly lucky to have come out of it fairly unscathed, but still disturbed nonetheless. So one of the incidents that happened, I'll share with you guys. That's in my book. It's quite interesting here. I've contacted the local police department to get the police report from those years ago when I actually did call the police. So those of you who are Catholic know that Mass basically runs an hour. Hour 15 minutes, but it's like clockwork. The priest has the homily, communion happens, people go up, people go back and kneel after receiving communion, and everybody says one final prayer, peace be with you and also with you, and everybody leaves. And we were faithful Catholics. We went to church every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday usually, so almost 4 days a week when we were living in this house that was certainly haunted, probably possessed, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about what happened. So, my neighbor John was out feeding his lawn, or weed eating it, I forget which one, but he had the pump on his back, big tank and pump, so insecticide or herbicide could be administered through his large yard, and we would meet at the fence, usually daily, have a beer, have a cigarette, talk for a little bit. So as I left at about 9:30 in the morning to go to church, to go to Mass, to receive communion with my family, my two daughters and my wife at the time, we pulled out of the driveway, gave a quick wave to my neighbor John, and sped on our way. We returned probably by 10:30, 10:45 at most. We were gone for maybe an hour and 25 minutes tops. Driving back up to the house, first thing I notice, the garage door is wide open. I look, the front door is wide open. I look again, all of the windows are open. So I get a little disturbed. I park back in the driveway. I tell my wife at the time and the kids to stay in the car. I'll be right back. So I jump out of the car. I take a quick look. I don't go inside the house. I just kind of look around. And, I motion to my neighbor John, who's in his backyard spraying. Hey, John, come over here for a minute. John comes over. Hey, what's up? I said, hey, did you see anybody come up to the house? He says, no. I said, did you go over to my house and open the windows and the doors? Is this a joke? He says, no, I didn't. I've been out here spraying my yard. I said, so you've been out here for the full hour and you haven't seen anything? He said, yeah, nobody's driven up the street. Nobody's even driven down the street. I haven't seen anybody. No cars, no people. I said, okay, well, as you can see, my windows, doors, and garage door are wide open. He said, huh. You guys didn't leave it like that. I said, no, you saw us when we backed out of the driveway and went to Mass. So I said, you know what, I'm calling the police. So I called the police, and I'm not sure if I dialed the 911 number. I'm pretty sure I did at the time, because I didn't really have the police numbers memorized, and this was a little bit before smartphones made it so easy to get the non-emergency number. But I don't recall whether Nampa Police Department showed up or if it was the Canyon County Sheriff's Department. I'll know soon enough. Nampa Police Department doesn't have any record of the police report. I just recently contacted them. So I'll wait to hear back from the Canyon County Sheriff's Department to see if they have the report. Now, one of the interesting things here is the police showed up. They went through the house and they inspected it, of course, to make sure there was nobody still inside the house waiting to ambush us or any of that stuff. So that was kind of important to make sure that the police swept the house before and to make sure that it was safe for me and my family to return. Our doors, windows, everything was open. And they went inside to inspect. And when they came out, They had told me that the windows were open, every window, every door, even bathroom doors. But they told me the unusual thing was that every mirror was shattered in my home. Every one of them. And the radio, the home stereo unit that I had wired throughout the house, different areas, was turned up full blast, very, very loud, and it was on white noise, so it was just static, snow, just white noise playing. They turned the stereo off because it was deafening when they went in there. It was very loud. But they informed me that there was nobody in the house. They checked everywhere, and every place a human being could hide. They looked, couldn't find anything. So they had told me that, whoever did this wasn't afraid to escalate. Breaking into the home and destroying property like that is obviously a clear message. They instructed me to get better door locks, even though they found no sign of forced entry. No evidence of anybody being in the home. So they told me to get a better security system and kind of winked and then left. So the interesting part about this story is that it wasn't just the big mirrors, dressing mirrors, vanities, bathroom mirrors, medicine cabinets. It wasn't just those that were shattered. It was dental mirrors in the drawer of the bathroom. It was makeup cover-up powdered mirrors that were shattered, and makeup bags and makeup kits in the bathroom. It was shaving mirrors that were thrown into a travel kit, long forgotten under the sink of the bathroom, buried by toilet paper and cleansing products that haven't been touched in a year. So it was every single mirrored surface was shattered, probably simultaneously. And that's kind of the frightening part. The white noise was frightening enough, but having all of the doors and windows opened at the same time. The garage opened, and nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. Neighbors didn't see anything. And for somebody to do this in, less than an hour, would be virtually impossible, especially with the watchful eye of my neighbors, whom I trusted. There wouldn't have been any reason for my neighbors to lie and go into our house and do this. It's a very strange thing to do. So, yeah, the mirrors were shattered, white noise playing, definitely consistent with some of the paranormal and supernatural activity we'd experienced there. But it was documented. The police department has the record there. I did call the police. I did try to seek help. And, again, I did seek help from the Catholic Church on several different occasions. I alerted them to what was going on. And I was told that, the house has been blessed 3 times. No evil can exist where God's love is. That was their official stance on the situation and the paranormal there. But I wanted to share that this morning with you guys, just a little tidbit here of the supernatural. And, there are going to be more revisions of my book, more video and photographic and evidence, and some reports, police reports probably. But I'll be rewriting and re-releasing another edition of The Unholy Silence. But there will be a follow-up to The Unholy Silence, and there will be some other books I will be writing. So stay tuned for that, but I will continue to podcast, continue to explore the supernatural. I'm still available to assist with questions and interviews, things like that. If anybody has any questions for me, you can reach me on my new website, which is authorDougOwen.com. Once again, that's just all lower caps, all caps, doesn't matter, authorDougOwen.com. So you can find me there. You can find the latest information about my books. You can find links to download my books. You can find links to Authentic Haunted, the premier site for haunted and cursed objects that I curate as a side business. I deal in supernatural artifacts, and also offer supernatural services as well, and curation services, inspection, examination services, as well as paranormal investigations. So pretty standard run of the mill. But I want to thank you guys for listening. Please continue to subscribe to my website, continue to subscribe to these podcasts, and I will continue to make them. Take care.